All right, so in this video, we're still going to factor, regular old quadratic here, where the leading term is a 1, but the difference on this one is that the c term, all right, that constant term is negative. All right, so c is negative. That's the difference here. All right, so break it up into two binomials. We want to find two of these that multiply out to this. So this still has to be x times x to give us x squared. All right, the trick here, the way that you would say it this time, is you want two numbers here and here that they will multiply to 30, and their difference, or two numbers that multiply to 30 and they will subtract to give us 7. All right, so you may already have this in your head. All right, for 30, we want them to subtract to give us 7, so that's going to be 3 and 10. Okay, so my numbers are going to be 3 and 10. And again, right now, the order does not matter. So they're going to subtract to give us 7. But this time, instead of it being the same signs, like last time, whenever it was a plus sign, all right, that told us that these numbers here are going to be the same signs. But because this 30 is negative, one of these numbers has to be positive and the other has to be negative. Because the only way that you can multiply two numbers and get a negative 30 is if they have different signs, right? So they're definitely different. The middle sign this time is going to tell us which is which. All right, because the 7 is negative, that tells us that the bigger of our two numbers, the 10, has to be negative. All right, that one's going to be negative, and this one's going to be positive. So again, kind of think about what it would look like if you multiplied this thing back out to get this original. That's your x squared. 3 and negative 10, that's your negative 30. Now to get the negative 7, we get that from doing negative 10 times x and positive 3 times x. Right? Negative 10x and positive 3x. That's where the negative 7x comes from in the middle. All right, let's do another one here. We got x squared plus 3x minus 18. X times x. We want two numbers that multiply to 18 and subtract to give us 3. So they multiply to 18 and subtract to give us 3. That's going to be 3 and 6. All right. Because this is negative, the two numbers here have to be different signs. All right. And the 3, because the 3 is positive here, that's going to tell us that the bigger number has to be positive. All right, so it's a positive 6 and a negative 3. That's it. Okay. What do I have next? This one, not much different, but a lot of people not sure what to make of the middle term. All right, since the middle term doesn't have anything, a number written there, that's just an implied 1. When we go to factor it, we want two numbers that multiply to 6 and subtract to give us 1. All right, multiply to 6 and subtract to give us 1. That's going to have to be a 2 and a 3. There we go. Different signs, and the bigger one is positive. So that one's positive, and this one's negative. That's it. All right, the last one here. I want to look at one where the number is too big. It's like it's not on our list. All right, we're going to factor x squared minus 9x minus 90 here. So this one's greater than 50. So what do you do if it's the number is not on your list here, because we don't have the factors of 90 given to us automatically. All right, the game's still going to be the same. X times x gives us x squared. Here we want two numbers that multiply to 90. They got to multiply to 90 and subtract to give us 9. So what I recommend is that you do this systematically, is just list out the factors of 90. All right, 1 and 90. Those do not subtract to equal 9. 2 and 45. 3 and 30. These do not subtract to give you 9. 4 does not go into 90. 5 does. Let's see here. 90 divided by 5. That's 18. All right. Still, it doesn't subtract to give us 9. 6. And if you saw my calculator a second ago, it was 90 and 6. That gives us 15. And that's the kicker here. All right. These are the ones that are going to subtract to give us 9. So it's a 6 and a 15. Okay. They are different signs. That's what that tells us. Because, in order to get a negative 90, they have to be different signs. The bigger number is going to be negative. So I'll put a negative here and a positive there. All right. That's the factored form for it. When it comes to listing out all the factors, you're wondering if you got them all. The trick was when the numbers start to overlap, that's when you know you have all the factors. So 7 doesn't go into 90, 8 doesn't go into 90. The next one to go into 90 is 9 and 10. And then after that, it would be 10 and 9. But because you've already got that one listed, you know you're at the end of your list. Right? So this is a complete list of all the factors of 90.